Hi everybody, this is Jason from the ThreadSpace team. Going to show you guys a little bit of our progress on things. This might look a little bit different from the hyperball you remember. Oh crap, I'm being fired at. Well, I'll just let it happen. So I'll talk about the GUI in a second because I want to get away from that easy bot. So one of the things that we were experimenting with was a new type of movement system. So you'll see that the engines button and the fuel gauge is gone. We're pretty much removing that concept completely, and instead you could just right click wherever you want to go there. So let me quickly get away from this guy. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to do was to kind of simplify the UI a little. So instead of ships being able to select the building modules from the old production station, and that would determine the projectile loadout. Instead, taking things more into a class-based ship system. So ships just have a certain number of abilities they can do, and they have a primary fire ability. Okay, that guy's coming back. Let me see if I can do a full engine burn. Let me zoom out a little. Oh dear, he's coming. So this is going to look a little overpowered at first, which is fine because we're still experimenting with it. But basically, playing with a click-to-fire system, where wherever the mouse cursor clicks, that's where you shoot. So for example, it'll make killing this guy pretty easy because I just spam click on him. Also, I have a lot more ammo than I need. Another thing that we're experimenting with is with your primary ability, or your, I guess basically your basic attack. If you hit the R key, that'll reload it, and now you have a full salvo. So now this guy's back, and I also have a rapid fire button. So let me point at him, and then oh, he's moving, and then I'll just rapid fire at his face. Yeah, that's pretty overpowered. Again, we're just experimenting with this stuff, getting movement feeling just right, and also experimenting with different firing types. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? I think that's pretty much it for the basics of this stuff. This is actually an earlier build that we were experimenting with a few weeks ago. And since that time, Matt and I have been refining a bit more of the camera system. So I'm going to quickly jump to our current build and show you guys how things are looking right now. Okay, so this build is our current one. Ooh, that guy's going a little quick. Oh my god! Hang on, I need to kill him real quick. He's dangerous. Stop it. Okay, there we go. I'll get away. So now we're having the camera kind of follow where the ship is pointing. It's not exactly how I want the camera to work, but it's getting closer. The big thing that this build is experimenting with is a new movement system. So instead of clicking to move, we're experimenting with basically using the WA, S, and D keys to go forward, back, or a combination of it. The Dreadnought's a pretty slow ship, so he's not going to move very quickly. The idea is to give players more freedom of control, and each ship would have their own different movement speed. And then, if you remember from, actually I might be able to trigger it with a bug. I can still actually right-click in this build to go somewhere. So if I right-click, that should engage the main thrusters. Yep, there's the main engines going. And I still want to have that in there as kind of like a sprint ability. So maybe you hit the shift key or something, and that makes you use your main engines. That might have a cooldown cost or something. I would say the things that are kind of inspiring this simplicity and direction are definitely games like probably Overwatch, but not making it too simple. One thing that I kind of like about the camera follow and the movement system is that we're probably going to remove the click at a point to fire at it, since that makes aiming a little too easy. And instead, if the camera is following the ship around, just like the old shooting system, wherever your ship is pointing, you click on the fire button, and that'll just shoot in that direction. Got it. Another thing that we're trying to do is to remove dependency on the mouse cursor, since it's kind of isn't needed for anything anymore. So we're probably going to hide the mouse cursor and see what it looks like with a smoother camera rotation system, and also experimenting a bit more with the strafing, and wow, he's just skating around. It's pretty cool. Oh, that's the other thing. I had to tweak a bunch of weird game variables to adjust the thruster speed. So the bots are not aware of this movement system yet. They're still playing the game as if nothing has changed, and they're really just making the best of it. So good for the bots. Oh, another thing that we added is a way to trigger ship's abilities. So let me see if I can get close to this guy. And hello, come into my parlor. And if I hit the E key, I just deployed an EMP on him that was centered at my ship. It's basically an activated ability. The idea is, oh, and his shields are ticking down just like the EMP would. I have another ability. If I hit the F key, that'll launch a hyperball in the direction I'm pointing, and that'll hurt him for quite a bit. Now, oh, he's trying to heal, huh? Not happening. The idea is to basically bring the ship's abilities within your where your left hand is going to be on the keyboard. So if you're using the WASD keys to move, the Q, E, R, and F keys will do something. Right now, R reloads your main ability. In this case, it is the twin plasma bolts. Wow, he's just flying around there. Haven't really figured out how other abilities should work. We're still experimenting with stuff. So if you guys have any suggestions or thoughts, feel free to let us know about this stuff. It's still pretty early in the experimentation phase, but I'm really liking the smoother movement system. It's feeling pretty good. I think we need to add a bit more polish to it, and that's just going to happen over time with just easing in and out of how the thrusters work. But so far, it's working pretty well. So I think that's all I have to show you guys this time. I'll try to make these update videos on a monthly basis. Feel free to ask questions or chime in with feedback on our Discord server. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.